Good morning, guys. Here is Mr. Ruiz with another grammar class. Today is the second part of types of pronoun. As you remember, in the last class, we have been studying personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, and interrogative pronouns. Today we're going to learn another types of pronoun as relatives, indefinite, reflexive. What are relative pronouns? Well, relative pronouns are all the types of words that replaces and a positive. Also, they are used to give extra information of a subject or a noun. Let's see the example. The pirate captain, who had never seen the inside of a schoolroom, struggled to read the ransom note. If you see here, guys, you're gonna see that relative pronouns introduce relative clauses. So first of all, what is a clause? A clause is, in simple words, a sentence, as you see here. Who had never seen the inside of a schoolroom. If you see, a particular way of a relative clause is that is inside commas. Always will be inside commas. Or also just introduce it with a relative pronoun. What this means? Well, that if you read the sentence again and try to skip the sentence that starts with a relative pronoun, it will have the same sense. The pirate captain struggled to read the ransom note. It has sense by itself. So what means a relative clause is an extra information of our pronoun. In this case, pirate captain. So let's see. Another time. What are the relative pronouns? As the ones that you see in the chart below: that, who, whom, whose, which, whoever, whomever, whichever, always will be referring to the same subject as extra information. Indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns, as you see here in this list, are all the pronouns that are unspecified. So it means that they are not referring to a specific group of persons. It's like randomly. So let's see an example. Officer Ramirez heard something moving behind the dumpster. When we refer to something that he heard something, obviously we don't know what is it. So that means that it's not a specified object. So in all the cases that you don't know how to define something, you can use this type of pronouns. Also, they're gonna be used sometimes in singular. Actually, all the indefinite pronouns will be used to describe things that cannot be described, or that you don't know with certain which pronoun to use. So all the cases are indefinite when you cannot specify the gender, the number, or the type of object or which you are referring. So let's continue with the last ones. Reflexive pronouns. The reflexive pronouns will be always, as the name says, a reflect, like a mirror. They will be reflecting back to the subject. So all of these are the types of reflexive pronouns: myself, ourselves, yourself, yourselves, himself, herself, themselves, itself. So when we see all these type of pronouns, they can be of two types: reflexive or intensive. Reflexive, they are not immediately after. If we see here, himself is reflecting to whom? Himself is the same, and then we don't have two different subjects. We have the same subject, and they. Also, that is himself. You will see, guys, that they reflect. What means reflect? That they are the same. When if you put in a mirror in yourself, you will see that it's the same image, just that in different ways. So, why in different ways? Obviously, because it's not placed in the same part, or it's not placed with the same words, but it's reflecting the same thing, you. So Andrea himself will be always related by a refer or by a reference. So let's see, we have some advices before using reflexive pronouns. We can just use reflexive pronouns after a name or a pronoun to which they refer. We cannot leave it alone. We cannot do this. My children wanted to go to Happyland with myself. We cannot use it this way, guys. It's incorrect. Relative clauses always will begin with a relative pronoun, and they will be giving extra information about a noun. We're gonna give some examples for you to understand better this concept, as the one that you see here in boldface, who had just learned of the sun's power. We are talking about Willard. So all this sentence will be an extra information that we have of Willard. What does Willard does? So relative clauses will be useful to give more information always of a noun. Let's see the other example. Ants that are exposed to magnified sunlight tend to combust. If you see in this example, we don't have commas. They can be used with or without commas in some cases. Which is our subject? Ants. And which is our relative clause? That are exposed to magnified lights. Can we leave as one sentence, ants tend to combust? Yes, absolutely yes. So we're gonna see that a relative clause would not be necessary in a sentence because it's extra information. So that's the best way to identify a relative clause. Try to take it out from the sentence and read it without it, and if it has sense by itself, so it's a relative clause. So let's make a review with some examples of pronouns. The wolf covered himself in sheepskin and attempted to sneak into the shepherd's flock. Do we have any pronoun in this sentence? Yes, we have. Which is it? If you see in this sentence, is himself and is reflexive. Remember, himself is referring to the wolf. Let's see another example. Jean Paul is going to paint something that will revolutionize the art world. Let's see this example. If you see here, guys, you will see where is our subject. That's the first thing you must identify. Where is our subject? Jean Paul. And which is our complete predicate. Is going to pay something that will revolutionize the art world. But do we have intensive pronouns or reflexive pronouns? Yes, of course. We have a relative clause here that will revolutionize the art world. Now, another time to understand if it's a relative clause, remember to do this. Try to read the sentence without the relative clause. Let's see, Jean Paul is going to pay something. Does it have sense? Yes, of course, so it's a relative pronoun. So we're gonna see that we have a relative pronoun that is that. And also we have another pronoun that is something. Which type it is? Indefinite. And that is a relative. So in this way, you will see that we have two types of pronouns and that we place it in one whole sentence. So as you see, we have something an indefinite and also that is a relative pronoun. So guys, with this, I hope that you understand all the topic, and I will leave you the homework in another page. Thank you for seeing all this video, and I hope that you understand everything. Have a nice day.